Batwoman number 9, Margaret Bennett on the writing and Fernando Blanco on art. So we're continuing our Scarecrow story here. We ended last issue with Kate and Colony Prime, both kind of heavily injected with this new serum, and they're both seeing completely different things. Kate's getting a sort of Alice in Wonderland type thing going on, whereas Colony Prime is seeing a video game, basically, for lack of a better description.
We don't see much of that version, though.
No, I kind of like that, actually, though. It's all Kate's side we see, but he just occasionally makes references to what he's saying, and it just sounds completely different. It's like, it's this pixelated bad guy. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, whereas this, the image of Scarecrow, it very much feels like the Arkham Asylum game version. You know, those nightmare sequences where he's towering over everything.
The needles for fingers I especially love. In fact, I mean, the art's typically pretty good. I still think it's the weakest art in the book.
Out of the artists that we've had, I think Blanco is the weakest.
Because
it's not bad.
Because I really liked Epstein. I really liked that issue 5 artist. I can't remember who that was off the top of my head. But
Stephanie Hans.
There you go, Stephanie Hans. But it's generally pretty solid. But my favourite part of it is how Scarecrow looks. Everything with Scarecrow, seeping into darkness or coming out. The big sort of version of him with the big needle fingers.
Yeah, the spidery version.
Yeah, all of that stuff's really, really good. This issue basically amounts to a couple of things. It's a little bit of, I want to say fun almost, bonding between Colony Prime and Kate, where they're kind of bickering about they're not really brother and sister, and she's like,
but it feels a lot like sibling bickering, doesn't it?
It does, but she's like, oh yeah, okay, you're the son that Kane never had, blah 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 blah, let's not do this. But it does genuinely feel like there's siblings bickering. But she learns a little bit about him. She learns that he's a father. She sees the photograph that he's got under his helmet, and it makes her understand him maybe just a little bit better. And it all kind of ties into this idea of, they both kind of get roped into their career paths because their parents to some extent were in the military or something like that, and she sees it as this cycle of just a cycle of death where either your parents are already dead or you end up dying.
Yeah, you try to live up to them or honour them, and you end up making the same mistakes.
Yeah, and it all kind of boils down. Like she's in this Scarecrow, and we see that her dad's kind of on the way. He's looking for them. He's at least looking for Colony Prime because he knows he's there. Well, he knows if he knows Kate's there. I'm not sure actually off the top of my head, but
I can't recall now.
But it kind of all boils down to her having this moment of strength where she realizes she can be powerful in here. Like it's her nightmare. Can she take control?
And this is where the art is absolutely at its best as well.
Because she starts to transform. She's like, yeah, I mean, like I could contribute to this cycle of death and violence, but I can take control. Like, you're trying to scare me of what could happen. And there's that great page with all the panels of like, okay, so this is her past. Here's the sister. Here's everything that's happened. Our mother dying.
Here's where she is now. And that's that tease of the future.
You see her with the belfry, and then of course, we see the future tease of like, what she'll become, and we see the fascist Gotham Batwoman that we've seen in the other issues.
I thought it was really interesting in that panel that there was 2 bat signals in the sky behind her.
Did we see that in that last issue though?
I don't recall seeing it in last issue, but maybe I just never noticed.
I feel admittedly it's been a while, but I feel like there was multiple bat signals kind of just constantly.
There might well have been, yeah.
I don't know if it's maybe like more of a, rather than being a signal to call someone in this future, it's more branding. This is our city, like we control. Kind of like how Nazi Germany has swastikas everywhere. It's like, no, here's some bat signals in the sky.
That's kind of how it looks in this image.
We're in power. And the big final page is like she's actually transformed into a giant freaking monstrous bat.
Yeah, it's fantastic looking.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I it's funny because I feel like this arc is probably my least favourite of the book so far. Even though it's doing a lot of little things that I really like, I think it's because we're trapped in this like nightmare, and because it's kind of all a dream to an extent. Like it's not.
Doesn't quite have the same weight as the real world actions.
It's going to relate to everything because we know the many arms of death are involved. They're funding Scarecrow and all these things, and we have some good moments in here. But I am kind of looking forward to being back out into the real world and doing that stuff.
Agreed. Although I will say the double page spread where she is transforming, the layout there is spectacular. The way they kind of angle in and out the panels.
Yeah, even the speech bubbles are actually angled with the panel, so you get some that are really skewed.
It's really disorienting, and it works amazingly.
I think what's interesting about that double page spread is that you kind of get it from Scarecrow's perspective more than hers, because it's like she's starting to manipulate it, so it's affecting his view of it.
Yeah,
So
you're kind of seeing the confusion of what's going on.
Yeah, so
it is a little bit difficult to read at first because
Yeah.
you're kind of moving back and forth.
But it's him that's being disorientated here, not her.
Yeah.
And typically we're getting things from her point of view because she's our main character, she's our protagonist, but
Yeah,
here it kind
but
of
this
shifts.
is that shift, and again, that's another one of those pages where Scarecrow looks incredible against the night sky and the broken city.
Yeah, it's full on Scarecrow from the Arkham games. That's basically what this is. But that's okay. I have no problem with that. So
yeah, and I love how on that last page where she's the giant bat, Scarecrow looks so small.
Yeah. Also, I love the idea that Colony Prime's questioning, like, are they even looking for him? Do they care to come and get him? And because it's when Batwoman says that she tracked the signals, like, well, you tracked it? Why hasn't anyone else tracked it? Like, he starts to question it.
Of course, we know that they are.
Yeah, they are. They're looking. She's just smarter, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. They obviously they try and boost the signal. Obviously during the issue, so that's what kind of leads to Colonel Kane's on his way. But we'll get to that next issue. So no, it was not bad. It had some fun moments. But not necessarily standing out amongst the run so far for me compared to the first arc and some of the other stuff.
Agreed, but I'm enjoying it at least.
Oh yeah.